It's been reported that David Ornstein has suggested that Bukayo Saka has signed his new 5-year deal at Arsenal. And I'm really happy about it. I can't help but still think about the Liverpool result. I think it's going to hurt for a couple of days, to be honest. And although it wasn't a loss, it didn't feel very good. But the good news is that Bukayo Saka looks to have signed. Now, I don't think it comes to any surprise or shock that he signed a new deal at Arsenal. I don't think there was any rumours or links reporting him away or a move away from Arsenal. But I will say this, it needed to happen. He's seen as the most important player at the club, or one of. He's definitely one of the most, probably the most consistent performers of the last few years. And we'll come to his form in a minute because I think it's important. But what's even more important is that Andrea Berta is not just sitting there and chilling out. He's obviously getting stuff done. Now, with his rumours and suggestions that we link with players for the January transfer window that's now open as well. So Andrea Berta, albeit deserved a hell of a lot of credit in the summer. Some thought he was just going to kick back, relax, and then wait until the following summer. What he's done on since then, bringing in players, selling players, he's actually signed everybody now that we needed to, whether it be Ethan Nwaneri or Miles Lewis-Skelly, whether it be Gabriel, Saliba, or of course, whether it be Bukayo Saka. And there's reports that Raya and Timber and Rice and Odegaard and a few more other players are looking at extending contracts too. So it's obviously a good place to be right now. It's a happy place to be at Arsenal. But Bukayo Saka was the one that everybody wanted to happen. Now, I think it's probably the one I was least worried about. I think Gabriel getting kind of links and head turns towards Saudi Arabia and Saliba looking like he was linked heavily with Real Madrid at some point. I did feel like there was potential for one of those, if not both of those, to leave. But it looks like they're signing long-term and having signed long-term now, Bukayo Saka looks to have followed. So I believe that we're going to see this squad together for the best part of a few years. Now, it's good lengths of contract. It's good the fact that he signed the 5-year deal. Believe it's probably going to be up until sort of 300 to 350k a week. I don't care about that. It never bothers me how much players get. It bothers me about what they deserve. And I truly believe that he needs to be one of the highest paid players at the club. Likewise, Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice, I think they're the most important key players. So I think it's only right that they get the most money. What does wind me up a little bit is the players like Havertz and Jesus and Martinelli that are on an unbelievable amount of money for what I believe are squad players. And look, as long as Arsenal can afford it, I don't think it's a matter. I don't think it's a problem. But if we were to start going through PSR issues and we were to start looking at why we can't afford a certain player or why we can't give a certain player a contract length, I'll be looking at those decisions thinking what's going on. So Bukayo Saka is not one in that bracket. Bukayo Saka deserves to be on whatever Bukayo Saka wants to be on, in my opinion. But let's just be realistic for 1 minute. I don't think it's unfair for Arsenal fans to question the form of Bukayo Saka. He's one of my favourite players. Him and Rice definitely are the two that I look at. I'm a big fan of Timber, Saliba and Gabriel as well, but I look at those two as my favourites. And Bukayo Saka's form, I think he knows, hasn't been to his best. I don't think he's quite there yet. I still think there's a question mark about the injury and the fact that he's come back, whether he was overplayed, whether he's been potentially set back or gone backwards or ruined by overplaying him last season. And people will say we didn't overplay him. Look at Salah, look at Van Dijk, look at players that play forever. But when you are looking into it, I do think there's many occasions over the past few seasons that the manager has overplayed him. And I look at the likes of Preston last season. 3-0, he brings him on. Bolton starts him in the Carabao Cup. FA Cup games, Carabao Cup games, Champions League games, games where we're 2 or 3-0 up, doesn't take him off. At one stage, I think we were 4-0 up and he brought him on. There was one game, I think, was it against a French team that we were 5-0 up and he brought him on. Didn't take him off for one of those games. And he's done that with other players as well. I remember we went 7-1 up against PSV and he played Gabriel in the next one. The game after that against Fulham, he goes down with a grade 3 hamstring. So there is definitely fingers to be pointed at to the manager. But I've just got to be honest, when I look at Bukayo Saka, I think he has been overplayed, overworked, and he's hit burnout. He's got himself injured. He's trying to get himself back into it. And he just can't quite get into the swing of it consistently. I've seen good moments. I've seen glimpses. I've seen good games. But I haven't seen a run of form where I think Bukayo Saka is one of the best right now. I don't think he's been one of the best players in the league, like in terms of his position. I think this season You can probably argue that Foden has been better. Morgan Rogers has been better. Semenyo has been better. Trossard has been better. You can look at other teams as well and look at some of the players that are performing week in, week out, that have got better GA than him, that have scored more goals, more assists than him. Players like Kudus, players like Jared Bowen, players that are down in the league, Jaden Anthony, that have all got goals. And that frustrates me, really, because this player is so much better than all of them. But he hasn't been able to consistently show that he's one of the best in the league, because I still think he's not quite in the swing of it. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep Bukayo Saka. It doesn't mean we should sell him, and it doesn't mean that we should not give him a long-term deal. But what it means is I need to see more. And it's not just Bukayo Saka, by the way. I need to see more from Erdegaard. I need to see more from a lot of our attackers. But when we're giving Bukayo Saka the money that we're going to be giving him and telling him that he's the main man and that he's the star boy, he needs to start showing up and he needs to start winning us games. Now, there's been moments last season where he did that against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. I thought he was excellent, scored the goal, and everyone was saying he's now world-class because he's done it at the world stage and all that kind of stuff. But he needs to now start performing consistently. And we haven't seen that. I've got to be honest, we haven't seen it. Now, as much as Arteta and Berta and the players and everyone deserves credit for where we are at the moment, I need to look at the individual performances, and I need players that are important in this team to start delivering, particularly at this stage of the season. The back end of the season, when things get tough, the festive period's over, and now it's games every 3 days, 4 days. I need to see Bukayo Saka turning up, just like I do Erdegaard, just like we demand Rice and Gabriel and Saliba and what they're doing. I particularly need to look at the guys like Bukayo Saka and say, you are supposed to be one of the key men. You're earning the most money. Everyone's looking at you to do something. You're our guy. Like, Saka is the equivalent of our Salah. He is the equivalent of our Palmer, of our Haaland. Unfortunately, Palmer, Salah and Haaland have actually managed to go and deliver consistently in the last couple of seasons. And I'm not sure in the last 2 seasons that Bukayo Saka has been able to do that. Now, the injury has obviously not helped last season, but this season, I haven't seen it, people. I haven't seen it yet. And I hope that, and I'm sure that he will go on to do it. But I just question what's happening with him right now. I think he's delivered good performances. I think he's developed a very good understanding with Jurriën Timber now. I always felt that Ben White and him had more of a telepathy. They had more of an understanding together. That kind of overlapping run that Ben White was doing, Jurriën Timber's now doing. They're starting to link up better. They're starting to work well together. And I like that because Jurriën Timber is elite level. I think he's unbelievable. And I look at Saka cutting inside, and I don't see as the confidence he used to have. There seems to be a reluctance to want to have a shot. There seems to be a reluctance to want to deliver on time. There seems to be a doubt in his decision-making at times and a question mark over it. I just want to see him get his confidence back, look like he's enjoying his football more, get on the score sheet more, get some assists more. He delivers unbelievable crosses and corners. I don't think that's changed this season. And he has got some assists and some goals. But I'm demanding him to get more. And that goes for everybody. I want Trossard to hit double figures. I want Martinelli to. Eze should be looking to get 10 goals and assists on top of that. Saka should be looking to get those numbers. Jesus, Havertz, Gyökeres, Marino, I want all of them to try and have a target in their head personally, like a personal achievement, to say, individually, I want to be hitting 10 to 15 GA at least this season each. Madueke is another one who looks to want to do that, because I feel like the output with some of them is not quite there. So everybody needs to kind of go up a level, of course, because if we want to win this league, that's what we've got to do. But if we're giving Saka this contract, I want to make sure everyone's happy with his performances. And I just don't think that the fan base have been of late. And I think that he gets away with a lot because he's got enough credit in the bank. You know, let's be real. When we were down and out, when we were trying to scrape for top 4 and we were coming 8th, Saka was the shining star. He was the one that we looked at. He was the bright spark, and he was the best of a poor bunch at that time. And if you look at himself and Gabriel Martinelli and Smith Rowe at the time, they were carrying us through. Saka has taken Arsenal on his back and carried us forward. Now, when you say he's carried us, people say, carried you to what? Well, he's carried us forward to be in the position we are now, because we were really bad. When we're coming 8th and 5th, Saka was the one that people were looking at and talking about at 17, 18, 19 years old. Now he's 24, 25, whatever he is now. He's 23, 24. I think you're looking at his position now thinking, come on then, like what you got? Are you going to take Arsenal across the line with a couple of moments? You're going to help the team go from here to here? Are you going to be the guy people are talking about? And unfortunately, with the money that he's now on, he's going to have that pressure. And I think he'll thrive off that pressure. I think he wants to be the best man. I think he wants to be the guy. I think he wants to be star boy, top boy. I think he appreciates his teammates, but I think he relishes off the chance that he actually does score goals against top teams. I think he scored goals against all of the big six home and away pretty much in the last few seasons, Bukayo Saka. So he's a player that a lot of people have a lot of time for. He scored a hell of a lot of goals in his career, and I think he'll go on to score more than the likes of Pires and Lundberg and the other wingers that we've had in our time because he is a goal scorer as well. But he's been more of an assist king in the last couple of, 12 to 18 months. And with his injury, I need to see him start to get, because the injuries can only give you an excuse for a number of time. I just hope that we haven't screwed over Bukayo Saka, and I hope that Mikel Arteta hasn't overplayed him to the stage where he's now not going to be able to reach the potential that we all thought he was going to be. And people that say that Gabriel's come back, he had the same injury, well, it's less explosive. Bukayo Saka's role is explosive. And funny enough, so is Kai Havertz. And where's he? Injured still. So Bukayo Saka and Havertz are probably going to feel it more than Gabriel will be at the same injury because they're different positions. There's different asks of them. So I think we need to see a better run of games from Bukayo Saka. I think we will. I've got faith that it will deliver. I've got faith he'll have a good season. And hell, if he doesn't have a good season and Arsenal win the league, maybe it's everyone's time to carry him. Yeah. But right now, I need to see more from Bukayo Saka. If he's going to be the guy that takes us to that next level, if he wants to be that star man, I need to see more from him. And I think if he hears or listens to any of this, if he clips any of it up, because I know people watch social media and retweet stuff, he knows I love him. Yeah, he's watched me before. I'm sure he has. They all know us, right? They'll watch us, our content. He knows I love him. I've said many times he's one of my favourite players. And I think he'll look at it and he'll listen to some people that are calling out maybe the performances and he'll agree. I don't think he's going to go, you're out of order, cut me some slack, give me a break, because we're not really getting on him. We're just saying we know you can do better. And I think he knows. I mean, look at the performances he put in a couple of years ago. 30 GA in like 2 seasons consistently. And wasn't getting anywhere near enough credit that he should have deserved from rival fans. He doesn't need it from rival fans. He needs it from us. But let's just be real. He was consistently good. And people were slating him. Oh, he's not that good. He's overrated. He's no better than Foden or Palmer. He's not better than all this Kudus and Bowen and all these kind of guys. And I'm thinking, he is. Right now, he's gone down to that kind of level of Bowens and Kudus and all that, in my opinion, this season. I need him to go up to the elite. Because I think he can be whatever he wants to be. He's still young enough to go up to 2 or 3 levels. I think he's an exceptional talent. And I do believe that he's got it up here. So for me, Bukayo, we love you. Thank you for signing. And it's great news for the Arsenal. Big up to Berta for getting it done. And big up to Mikel Arteta for working alongside him and for getting the job done as well. Let's hope we get the job done in May. Make sure you do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe. We will see you on the next one, people.